people of Facebook. Hello, people of YouTube. Hello, people of LinkedIn. I would like to say hello and welcome to you all, and thank you very much for signing in, for stopping your mad strolling that's going on and being with us here today. Today, which is known as Friday Lives now with me, Dionne, Conversations with Dionne. Today I have Lorriane E. Scott, who is an empath, let me get this right, empath and introvert specialist. You're probably thinking, what the hell is that? And why do we have an empath and introvert specialist in my group or on my page, excuse me, a woman who is a menopause coach? When the reason being is that one of the natural elements of menopause is that we go inwards. If you think about the time that it happens, which is at the midpoint of our life, it's a time when we spiral inwards and start to reflect and look upon our lives, answering those deep questions of the whys we've done and when we want to do the next thing. And also how we've been trudging along so far and the changes that we would like to make. And this makes us quite self-reflective, that sometimes our friends and our families and our relatives don't even recognize us because we have gone that much inwards. So imagine being an introvert woman who's going through the menopause and how much more that woman spirals down into herself to reflect upon her life thus far and the life she wants to live in the future. Which is why when I met Elaine, I raised my hand and was like, yes, come speak to my people, please, because I so resonate with that story. But before I introduce her, well, before she comes on and tells you a little bit more about herself, I would like to introduce her. Lorriane is a Reiki master. She's an intuitive healer, and she's an inspirational mentor who helps introverted entrepreneur coaches and healers to step into their power so that they're able to thrive within their business, if they're an entrepreneur, or within their workplace. She has 20 years of experience in vibrational energy healing work. And she developed this signature program that's called Calm, which she may tell you a little bit more about later on. And what Calm is about and what it stands for is that she helps people, not just women, but men as well, live on their own terms so that they can grow and live a more sustainable and successful future. She uses this process of calm within her online business by helping these introverts and sensitive people feel supported, confident in their place and in their place within the world. She also likes to bring fun and laughter, which you can recognize by just looking behind her right now in all that color and brightness, which I think might have something to do with where she fits on the scale of introvertness. But she also brings in tools such as tarot card readings and so forth to help guide a person on this journey so that they're able to see things from a different perspective. So thank you so much, Lorriane, for being here.
Thank you, Dionne.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
So happy to be here. I'm really glad we connected. You know, it was in kind of one of those instant moments, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. My first question to you is, what was it upon your own physical journey that inspired you to become this empath and introvert specialist? What was it about your journey?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Well, back 20-ish years ago, I became a reflexologist, and it was really interesting to me how massaging the feet could really help the whole body feel better. But there was this holistic portion to it where it's just kind of hovering over the feet to just clear at the end. And so many I could feel the energy, and so many people would say, wow, I feel that. So that really intrigued me as to this thing you can't see, but you can still feel. I don't have one of those really moments that was like, I'm this intuitive. It's nothing that profound. It just kind of happened gradually. And then I was really interested in Reiki after that, because it's known as a light touch or no touch modality. And then when my mom was just had cancer and she was just working through that, I went with her to a center that had these little mini Reiki sessions. So I was able to experience it alongside her, even though I was like, no, not me. But they said, no, enjoy it. And it was really fun. We kind of bonded a little bit more that way. And I really felt that it was quite helpful and calming. And then when she passed away, I wanted to learn how to do it because I wanted it to help me through the grieving process. And I mean, we still do, we go through grief the way we're meant to, but I feel that it really helped calm me down a little bit more and just honor the process, and feel closer to her because we had experienced it together. So that was really big. That was big for me. And then from there, I loved it so much. I wanted to learn more and to teach it. So when I started teaching it, I connected with a lot of people, or I'd do sessions for people and realize that I'm attracting all of these empathic people who didn't really even know they were empaths. They'd come to me for things like, I think I'm going crazy. I have these wild mood swings. And then I suggested, because my intuition was telling me that I think you're just really highly sensitive or empathic to the energy you're feeling. And a lot of times it'd be like, yeah, I think you're right. Whether it's my neighbor, I can hear what's going on there. I can feel the stuff that's happening. It really made me want to help people understand that what they're feeling is just stuff they're picking up. And then you get the question of, sure, okay, now I know it's not mine, but how the heck do I deal with it? So teaching them little tricks and steps to do that can help them kind of differentiate between their energy and someone else's. And it kind of spiraled from there.
Were all these people introverts? I can understand how these people are empaths, because they are sponges, and people that are empaths usually are sponges. That's why they're so sensitive in being able to feel things that aren't theirs. But where did the introvert module or the introvert character or persona, was it just by coincidence that you were treating more people that were introverts rather than extroverts, or was there something else that made you zone into this niche?
Yeah, it was the latter. It was, although introvert and empath really go along together because we're very introspective, but I always knew I was introverted. I could hang out on my own. I'd be fine with that. But it wasn't until I started shifting my business from doing Reiki teaching to actually wanting to get into the entrepreneurial world, to get online. After all this stuff happened over the last couple of years, it's like, okay, I need to pivot. And I realized I really wanted to do all that stuff, but it would take a lot out of me to just be out there and be present. And it would drain my energy. And that's when I knew that, oh, I'm an introvert. I have to do things differently. Everybody out there in the coaching world seems to be extroverts, and they're like, you got to get out there. You got to go network. And just the term network just puts me into hives. Who likes to network? So then I realized, oh my gosh, well, how am I going to get myself out there if I'm an introvert? So I had to start incorporating the energy work that I did for myself, and I do emotional freedom technique as well, which is tapping to clear my energy, meditation, all of these things to release and to get into mindset that, is this really what I want to do? If it is, suck it up, buttercup, and do it. So I just do things from that perspective now. And in that, I pivoted again into just helping introverted entrepreneurs to do whatever it is they want to do.
Because at the end of the day, when when you've got the opportunity to help the people that you want to help, when you've got the opportunity for your business, for our businesses to be about us and about our making our lives better, so we're fitting the business around us. And that's one thing that being self-employed, the benefits of being self-employed, rather than having the work, rather than we having to fit around the work, which is working for the man and working for the beast and working for Big Brother. So it totally makes sense that you being an introvert saying, this is who I want to help, because I want to help people like me.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, totally. Because we're told to get out of our comfort zone and just go. And my point of view is that we can take our comfort zone with us, because the moment we walk out of the door in the morning, we're already 90% out of our comfort zone. So to tell us to get even more out, like it's quite stressful as it is. But if we know that we can have some part of our comfort zone with us, sure, we got to stretch it a bit, but it doesn't mean we have to totally get out of it. To me, that's like needing to go run naked in the middle of the city. And no, thank you. That's not going to happen.
Oh, why not? No, I'm not going to get into trouble. Can I speak to you about the personality tests that's been going for some time, at least for the past 10 years that I've been aware of them, such as the Myers-Briggs test and the human design test. That one I only heard about 2 years ago when I found Clubhouse. Do you get the people that you work with to take these tests to find out how much on the introverted scale they're at? And do you yourself adhere to these tests and use them in your own personal life as well as your work life?
Actually, no, I do not. My other point of view, I guess I'm a rebel introvert, is that introversion isn't necessarily a personality trait. It's how we manage energy. It's how we manage our thoughts. It's how we manage our emotions. It's how we manage our experiences. But I feel that sometimes those tests put us in a box. And it's almost like, because I know I've taken them and I'm part this and part that. And it's like this jumble and it's, then I kind of go down the rabbit hole of, well, which one is me? So I really feel that if we just honor who we are, and there's bits and pieces of everything, that we can just learn how to manage our energy in a way that works for us. I was going to say something and it just slipped my mind, but I really feel that if we get stuck thinking that we're supposed to be a specific way, mm-hmm. and there's only one specific answer or a few choices for us to change, then we'll really restrict ourselves. So I find that it's better to just be who we are. We are all unique. So these tests, it kind of makes it, we're on one hand, people are telling you're unique, rock your uniqueness. And then another one goes, here, take this test to tell you, you're A, B, C, or D. So yeah, probably not the answer you were expecting, but.
No, that's absolutely fine. It's your answer. So for your clients, I would imagine that when they apply to work with you, the questions that you're asking will be not about what the results are in these tests, but it will be about how much energy they have, where are they leaking energy, how are they struggling with their energy. Is that more your way of assessing you work with?
Yes. And it's not even really assessing. Like when people work with me, it's usually in a group program. And in the Facebook group that I have, I do often do a 5-day journey with them, Ignite Your Introvert Confidence. So they get steps to learn where they can shift what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and the thoughts that they project out to the world, or that they feel about themselves. So it almost becomes, because I work with entrepreneurs, it's almost more about, okay, let's focus on your business. Where are you struggling the most? And from there, we can determine what they need to work on. So it's less about focusing on being introverted, even though I talk about that a lot. And it's more because everyone's a little bit different, right? Like you get people who we get labeled as shy or quiet, which isn't necessarily an introvert trait. And it's funny, Dionne, people used to say to me, oh, I didn't know you were an introvert. You don't act like an introvert. And at the time I would be like, oh, what a compliment. But I realized it's not a compliment. It's a misrepresentation of what introversion is. So my mission is to be an example to the world that you don't have to be a label. It can be a way for you to see the world in a different view, but extroverts will always think introverts are these shy, stuck in their homes, wearing their PJs, drinking tea and reading books, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. but there's more to it than that.
I get what you mean. I do, because like when I hear comments like that, not just about introvertness, but about anything, it kind of shines a light for me it helps me ask the question, what have I been acting into? If they've got that impression, what have I done to give them that impression? So what part of me have I been hiding or not showing for them to have come to that analysis? And by me recognizing that that's the analysis that they have, it informs me that I've got work to do in reference to being more authentic and showing more of me. And also by doing that, I know that I'm helping other people that are like me stand in their truth as well and say, previously that was not okay, this is us now.
Yeah, but I mean,
situation from a scenario like that.
Yeah, but it's also someone else's perception. I mean, part of our energy is that we do go inward sometimes. That's how we unplug and recharge, and we don't always go, oh, my battery's drained, I got to go plug in, it just kind of happens. So the more we are conscious of always needing to top up, so we don't have that really deep valley, it's way better. But people are still going to have the perception no matter what. So I think it's more important for us to just be like, they're going to think what they're going to think.
Yeah.
It may or may not be true.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I titled this live, Turn Your Introvertness into an Asset During Your Menopause. Because during the process of menopause, when we're going through this change and this transformation, we are naturally arriving when we, once we're over the threshold, we're naturally arriving into a new beginning. So we're giving birth to something new. Mm-hmm. And whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, just how there are extrovert people that are born with the energy of an extrovert or born with the energy of an introvert, it's no different from a business that either starts and blows up quickly, or a business that starts from humble beginnings and grows steadily in a steady upward climb. Mm-hmm. So I think that there are ways or things that one can learn and do, especially with your work, that allows one to just, to have that new beginning and give birth to something really, really beautiful. So in that vein, I would like to ask, what's the signs of an introvert?
Especially as, in midlife and going through menopause, we find that, who are we? Life changes. So there's a lot of introspection. That's introversion is often like that. That's one of the traits. I find being highly sensitive to how the environment affects you is a big part of it too. I mean, I can really only speak for myself as far as that's concerned. I mean, is that every introvert? I don't really know, but we tend to think a lot more and deeply and need to, we don't put up with anybody's BS as much as we used to. And again,
yeah, that's a sign of menopause. Yeah.
And I think, and I could be describing, all the people, introverts, extroverts, ambiverts, omniverts, or whatever you want to call it. But I feel that introverts often beat themselves up for needing to take time by themselves. And I think even, especially in menopause, we need that extra time to say, who are we right now? Who are we being right now? I need extra rest. I don't know why. I should do better. All of those inner thoughts that we think. And it's like, just chill. Just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. For one, you're going through something that's way different. Like for me, in the last few years, my life turned totally inside out. My marriage ended. My daughter and I moved in a place together, and she's old enough to be on her own. She found a boyfriend. She's living there. I'm all of a sudden by myself. And it's like, what happened? I didn't spend all of that time raising a family to just all of a sudden be on my own. I mean, empty nest is one thing, but single empty nest, it was kind of frustrating. And yet, thankfully, with the tools and the people you have around you who kind of understand what you're going through. That's why I love that you have this group and this connection, because we need that more than ever. And sometimes it's easier to be in a digital space like this instead of in person, because we have that ability and choice to just shut things down and just wallow in our energy for a little while, because we have to honor it. That's the big thing.
Yeah. And I will be asking you for 3 tips in a short while. And the reason why the tips are so important, which I just want to stress, is the inner dialogue of an introvert. What you talked about just a moment ago, about one of the signs is that one thinks a lot more and stays in one's head a lot more. And therefore that inner narrator, I would imagine, is so much more intense and louder, and one spends more time there if one is an introvert. And if one naturally goes through this as a menopausal woman, regardless of whether you're an omnivert, introvert, or extrovert, and then you are naturally an introvert, it feels to me like a double dose, which is why I wanted to bring you on today, to help women who are experiencing it as a double dose. There was a case not too long ago in Great Britain where a menopausal woman killed herself. And, suicide, it's a mental health concern. So we don't know whether she was an introvert or an extrovert, but the inner dialogue being so much more louder when one is going through the menopause is something that menopause mental health we need to shine the light on it far more. So you might as well go now. Can you share 3 tips, whether it's tips to work, whether it's, working for the man, whether it's work for entrepreneurs, or whether it's social life, or whether it's about relationships and communication, 3 tips to help an introverted woman who is actually menopausal at this time?
I love acronyms. So the acronym I have for this is ACT: awareness, choose, and transform. So one, you need to be aware of what you're feeling, of that inner dialogue, of your surroundings that are affecting you. And when you're aware of it, it doesn't mean you have to sit there and analyze it. You just become aware that this is this thing that's having you react or respond. And from there, then you have the choice to choose, do I need to deal with this? Do I need to let it go? Or is there a way for me to shift it so that I can shake it and release it? It's really important to actually acknowledge. That's a big part of it. We often think, oh, I shouldn't think that, and then just try and push it away. But the thoughts we think or the things we feel that we try to avoid are going to pop up somewhere. And it's like pushing a beach ball underwater. As soon as you finally let go, it's just going to pop right out anyway. So it's better to just be aware of it, make that choice. That was step 2. Step 3 is then you want to transform it. And there's many ways to do that. You could meditate, you could deep breathe. One of my favorite ways is to use tapping, emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping on specific meridians as you are talking out what it is you're going through. And I always like to end with tapping in the good feelings that you want to feel. It's very cathartic to go through that. Often I get people crying, which I'm like, yeah, which is a release, right? And not beat ourselves up about it. So that's it's acknowledge or have an awareness, choose, and then transform that energy. So act. Those are my tips.
And you've got a gift for us as well, for anybody who's watching this live. And in that gift, I believe there is some tapping there. Would you like to just share what is that gift?
Yes.
$97, which is very, very, very generous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, it's called the Zen Meditation Kit. And I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. I'm a believer in keeping things simple and making it so people can actually do them. So they're short. I have like a meditation audio you can do in the morning to kind of get you started, something midday if you feel you need, to release or re-energize, and then something for the evening to relax. And so there's meditation as well as tapping to clear the energy that you need to. And from what people have told me, it's powerful. It's simple. It's not like, oh, I got to meditate for 20 minutes. Sometimes people only have 3 or 4 minutes, which it may not sound like much, but that's the difference between carrying that burden and feeling guilt over it to actually, oh, something's coming up. Let's clear it now. And then we don't have to carry it through the rest of our day or into our sleep. So I'm so happy to be able to gift that to your audience, because I think it's a powerful way to keep our energy in alignment with who we are and who we're shifting into being through this journey of menopause. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable, Well,
I really appreciate it. Thank you. So if there's one question that I haven't asked you, but you wish I had asked you it, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. You ask good questions. I can't really think of an answer.
That's all right. But I'm going to answers for our lightning round. So I love to do a very quick lightning round of questions. Don't spend much time on them at all. Imagine I have a what you call it, a metronome. Like, yeah, ticking away.
Oh, great. Now you got this introvert nervous.
Well, I own one. I haven't got it. I haven't brought it out. So, so you imagine it, but don't hear it. You're not hearing it. So I'm just going to shoot these questions at you. Okay, they're really simple, and what it is, it's just bringing people into you so that they get to know you a little bit better by these. So 1, 2, 3, tea or coffee? Which one's the poison of your choice?
Coffee.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
A book that changed your life?
Oh, Atomic Habits.
Best country to experience?
Canada. That's where I am from.
Favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
The last song you played on repeat?
I listen to smooth jazz. I actually like Telegraph Road by Dire Straits. It's a nice long one.
What would you have done differently in 2020 at the start of the pandemic?
Walked more.
What's your favorite morning ritual?
Pulling tarot cards.
What show are you currently been watching?
There's a couple of them. One of them is Animal Kingdom, of all things.
I like it. I like it. I like it. And you can just give us one more if you want, because that's the end.
Well, I'm binging Shark Week shows. I'm a big fan of sharks, and so that's another one I'm binging.
And I said that was the last question, but you've got such a beautiful background, and everywhere you go, people comment about it. So instead of yeah, you would like to share why that is, and instead of you using a green screen or, you know, all the other fancy equipment that people use nowadays that are working from home, why do you have the colors that you have? Why do you have this brilliant, you know, intricate etching of an elephant, which I didn't know what it was until I saw you the second or third time online? A bit more about that before we go.
Well, I used to just have my plain blue painted wall behind me with nothing there. And then when I realized, you know what, I need to step up and stand out even as an introvert. So it's a tapestry that I got from a crystal shop I used to work at. So it has a big elephant on it. And I love the colors of it because people always see introverts as kind of wallflowers into the wall. And I just want to be an advocate for us. We have a personality and we can show it if we want to, and we can choose to not show it if we don't want to. So color is just part of my personality.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And where can people find you who are looking to work with you?
Well, online, I'm at Facebook. Empaths and Introverts is my name of my Facebook page. Also have a website that's in the middle of shifting a little bit, but it's simplehealingarts.com. So simplehealingarts, plural.com, because I do like to keep it simple. And the healing arts is just an amalgamation of meditation, Reiki, crystals, all of the fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for being here. Really.
Thank you, Dionne. I appreciate you.
And for everybody watching, I'd like to say goodbye. Have a great weekend. Have a great week to come. And we shall see you next week. Thank you so much.